Hi, and welcome to Rudy's Retro Reviews, guys. Today we're going to be talking about Commando, the 1985 classic from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Some say one of his third or second best action films ever made. And I'm going to watch this film through the eyes of an adult. Of course, I've seen this movie as a kid in the 80s, and I loved it. And I hadn't seen it in about 15, 20 years, to be completely honest. So watching this film again, I have to be honest, it's pretty ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is revisit some scenes from Commando that you may have missed as a child, and also give you some fun facts about the film. So let's go ahead and talk about Commando. Somewhere, somehow, someone. Now, for those who are too young to remember or really just don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone had a huge rivalry in the 80s. You can see little cameos in Twins, and even as recent as Demolition Man with Sandra Bullock and Stallone are in the car, and the Schwarzenegger Library comes up. Remember the Schwarzenegger Library?
The Schwarzenegger Library?
Yes, the Schwarzenegger Presidential Library.
So Commando, a lot of people speculate that this is Schwarzenegger's answer to Rambo. And if you look at the movies and the stories, they're very similar. You have John Rambo here, right? John Rambo. Then you have John Matrix. Both are special forces. One's a Green Beret. One eats Green Berets for breakfast. Get it? And both of them really follow the same formula if you think about it. One, they're both forced into killing again. They don't want to, but they're forced to due to circumstances beyond their control. They both have a mentor. You see the similarities? So yeah, there's a lot of similarities in these characters, and the movies are both ridiculous. If you watch it now through the eyes of an adult, it's pretty ridiculous, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But first, I want to talk about Bennett.
Do you know what today is, Matrix? Payday.
Watching this film as an adult, I never realized the amount of layers Bennett had as an antagonist. Vernon Wells, who plays Bennett, was actually a replacement from the original casting of Bennett. We don't know who that actor was, but apparently on the first day of shooting, that person was fired, and they needed to rehire somebody really quick. So they reached out to Vernon Wells as a replacement. Now, it's funny because Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't convinced about the casting of Vernon Wells. It wasn't until this scene that Arnold Schwarzenegger was convinced that they got the right guy. It wasn't in the screenplay for Bennett to grab Alyssa Milano's hair and put the knife to her neck. He was just supposed to stand next to her, so the fact that he did that just gave an extra amount of violence to the scene that Arnold and everybody on the set wasn't expecting, including Alyssa Milano. So after that scene, Arnold said, we have the right guy. That's him. And also, have you noticed how Bennett's clothes really don't fit him? The funny story is, like I said, they had fired the original Bennett, and they didn't have enough time to make another costume for Vernon Wells, who was a larger man. So that's why his clothes fit tight. Isn't that funny? I didn't know that. As far as the look Bennett was going for, it has been quoted and documented that Vernon Wells wanted to go for a Freddie Mercury on steroids look. I bet you didn't know that, because I didn't. So there you go. And the last thing I'd like to talk about Bennett is I didn't realize he was a sadist. As a kid, that totally went over my head, but as an adult, I'm watching the film and then I hear Arnold Schwarzenegger say this.
Why don't you have Bennett do it? Sounds like something he would get off on.
And then I look at his reaction at the end, where he says, you want to put the knife in me?
Put the knife in me and look me in the eye and see what's going on in there when you turn it. That's what you want to do, right? John.
Yeah, he's getting off, right? He's getting turned on right there, and he wants to take his time and kill John. He doesn't need a gun.
I don't need no gun!
He wants to put the knife in him and look him in the eye as he turns it. And it's funny, I don't know if this was a metaphor of Bennett getting off, but when at the end Schwarzenegger throws a pipe at him and the pipe goes through a human cavity, a torso, and penetrates a steam tank in the back and shoots out. I'm seeing that as an adult. I'm thinking, are they going for some sort of metaphoric ending for Bennett? I'm like, I don't know, but what do you think? Did he get off at the end? Did he let off some steam?
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Now, this scene took me by surprise. Again, I've seen this film countless times as a kid, and the only thing I remember from this scene is boobies. Boobies! The scene I'm talking about is when Bill Duke and Schwarzenegger are fighting in the hotel room, right? Mr. John Matrix, he flips and kicks Bill Duke into the next room. There is a nude couple. Again, as a kid, I remember boobies, but that's all I remember. But seeing it through an adult, the blanket flips over. There's a young man bent over and a woman with tickle bitties behind him. Now, as an adult, my mind can get kind of dirty at times, and there's one of two things that are going on. And I think you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that happened. And the other thing, the details that I didn't notice, there's sexual toys, there's whips on top of the TV, there's even a camera on a tripod with lighting. I don't know who thought about this idea, if it was part of the screenplay, but I can just see the producers, what we need is boobies. Yes, we'll have the fight scene go to the next room, and by God, we'll have the breasts in the air, and that'll just get the kids riled up. Yes, let's go ahead and get some actors, and they're filming a porn.
Where are we going?
Shopping.
The other scene I like to talk about is the shopping scene. It's a scene where Matrix and Radon Chong, who is the daughter of Tommy Chong, I didn't know that until a week ago, so hey, there you go. They know what island they have to fly to, so Arnold says, we're going to go shopping. And you would think a colonel in the military would have numerous hours of training in how to go with a stealth tactic to acquire weapons. But what does he do? He gets a bulldozer and runs it through the front of the store. Why? It makes no sense. Go pick the lock in the back. Disable the alarm. Get all the weapons you need. You'll be fine. But yes, a grown man trained in the military, a colonel, mind you, thinks the best approach to get through a store and steal items is to run a bulldozer through the front of the building. That's so 80s. You have to love it. And I love the next scene where he's arrested, like he's surprised, and you notice he's not even handcuffed. He gets into the van, and Radon Chong has a brilliant idea to break him out.
Hey. Okay.
And what does she think the best idea and the best approach is to break him out? To shoot a rocket at him. Oh, God. She easily could have killed him and the officers in the van. Oh, that is so 80s. You have to love it. And real quick, did you know in the original screenplay that when Arnold Schwarzenegger and Radon Chong are in the airplane and they're flying to the island, there was supposed to be a lovemaking scene. Apparently, in their great wisdom, the writers, which there were three, they thought, yeah, let's put a sex scene in here. They're flying a plane. They're going to put it in autopilot, and Arnold's going to get some booty. And by the way, we have a Bill Paxton sighting, which I was pleasantly surprised by this. This is like, I don't think, the third or fourth film Bill Paxton did with Schwarzenegger, but it's a little cameo. How do you like that? That brought a smile to my face when I saw it. Oh, Bill Paxton, you will be missed, man.
Thank you. And do me a favor. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. Oh, God. I'll be right there. Want to see me kick some ass. Attention all units. Emergency on theater level. Suspect, 6'2", brown hair. One gigantic motherfucker.
Used to be a great place to hunt and slag.
Call the federal building. Have a monitor every police, aviation, and marine channel in the area. What are you expecting? World War III. Hey Pete, this is Whiskey X-ray 4.
Now, the important question. In the end, does Commando hold up? and I'm having a really difficult time with this answer because Commando is the equivalent of the Fast and the Furious movies that have been rising in popularity for whatever reason nowadays. It's a turn off your brain, popcorn munching film. Do not take it seriously. Don't even pay attention to the story. Just go in and enjoy the spectacle that's on the screen. This film was fun to revisit. It's more of a comedy now, to be totally honest, as an adult, but I enjoyed watching it again. And again, if you haven't seen it, I highly advise checking it out and just seeing a time capsule of the 80s. And as always, thank you for watching Rudy's Movie Reviews, San Antonio's unofficial movie critic. Please take care, God bless, and live long and prosper. And I am out.
Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole.